Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we're going to have Darek. Darek is from Nebraska in the USA. So let's see what Darek has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Darek. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Absolutely. This is fun.
So tell me, how's your day going so far?
The day is going well. Being productive and all that stuff in the morning. So, yeah.
Tell me, where are you from?
I am from Omaha, Nebraska in the United States. So in the middle of everything here.
Born and raised?
I was born here, yes. Raised here, no.
Oops.
I was raised in Utah, and then I came back here. So I moved around a lot when I was younger. So
I see. And how far are you from the capital of Nebraska?
oh, not that far. I would say about 10, 15 miles.
Okay, it's Lincoln, isn't it? The capital of Nebraska.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
And tell me, what do you do for work, for living?
I work two jobs. I am a photo editor during the day, and then at night I am a part-time. I work retail part-time.
I see. Say again about the day job. I didn't get it.
A photo editor.
Photo editor. Oh, I see. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. And how long have you been doing that for?
Well over a decade. Well over a decade, for a very long time.
And tell me, how is live in your city? Tell me something interesting about your city. Where do you live?
The city I live in is very green, I will say. There's cars and hustling, bustling streets and stuff like that here and there, but we always manage to keep our trees, and Arbor Day was founded here, and so parks and stuff like that are abundant, and it's very nice here. There is always some place very nice to go to.
And all your family live there as well?
Yes, my family lives here. We're scattered around the U.S., of course, but yeah, the main intermediate part of our family is here.
I see. Okay, so during the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your life, about your point of views overall, okay?
Okay.
So before we start our journey within the Magic Box, I would like to tell me something interesting about yourself. Maybe something that not many people know about you.
I don't believe anybody should have pets.
Why is that?
I think, to put myself in a pet's position, I think that it would be horrible to be dependent on somebody to make their way home to feed me, to make sure that I go to the bathroom or any of that stuff, and then I'm just left alone for a major portion of the day when I could be outdoors enjoying my natural environment and being with my own kind and all that stuff. So from that perspective, I don't think anybody should have pets, or myself. I will never own a pet again. I have owned pets, and they have taken a turn for their worse, and they just don't survive longer than I do. But how wonderful is it to enjoy a bird or a dog or whatever pet out in the wild doing its own thing, and just having that point of view rather than keeping them for companionship.
Interesting your points.
Yeah.
I think it's to be very honest to you, I think something. I think besides dogs and cats, for example, birds, any other animals that when I see them, living outside or their natural habitat, it hurts me a lot. More birds, when I see birds, in places that they shouldn't be, that really breaks my heart. Yeah.
Yes.
And when was the moment that you start having this, let's say, point of view that for you, you didn't want to have any more pets, and you came up with this, mindset?
Believe it or not, it is when my fish died. I spent a whole lot of time, energy, money on my fish tank, and I had two fish in there, and then one of them died. Um, Something about the pH and the balance of the water and whatnot, and the other one survived, but it didn't last long after that. And um, I decided they're in captivity, and it's not the same. It's completely different. And rather than be heartbroken again, investing into another animal, I decided that's enough. Well, that's not right. Yeah.
I,
So
I had a very similar experience when I was 11, 12 years old. I had the little puppy, beautiful. His name was Bob. I never forget.
yeah,
And they stole him during the night. So it broke my heart forever. I never had a dog after that. You see how interesting
right.
you say that? Never had. I couldn't bear anymore the pain. It was so hard. I remember I stayed weeks without eating properly. I was crying a lot because I was so attached to the puppy. He was so beautiful, so cute, so sweet. He was very friendly
Yes.
as well. So that broke my heart. I remember I spent like the whole day trying. I was knocking door by door, like around the neighborhood and the city as well. My mom was very worried with me because I just didn't want to come back home without him. I just, for me, it was heartbroken. So after that, I never had a dog anymore.
Yeah. I look at
Anyway,
I look at dog owners and cat owners, and I feel bad for the dogs and cats because of their forced evolution, because what we as humans have done, and I don't know. It breaks my heart every time I see them. I'm like, oh, it's nice. It's great that they all have a home, but what if it was different? That's what I always wonder.
Interesting point. I like your point. Interesting point. That's very interesting for sure. Darek, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Yes.
Amazing. Welcome
Are
to
you?
Yes, absolutely. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So this is my best friend. Full of random questions. Okay. So I'm just gonna play a song now, just for us to relax a bit before the first question. Okay.
Okay.
Let's do it. All right. Okay, Darek, before we start again, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, some reason you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Okay.
By the way, am I saying your name right, Darek?
Derek, yes, correct.
Okay. First question for you is, if you won the lottery, what would be your first big splurge?
First big splurge from the lottery, I would probably invest in more equipment, like photography equipment. I'm very into photography, so I would invest a lot more into photography equipment. That's what I would do.
I see. And do you take photos as well? You're a photographer as well, or just work editing photos?
Oh, I take photos as well. As a hobby, I go around doing street art and street photography in general. So it is my favorite pastime. I like doing. Yeah.
All right. Next question. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. Next question for you is that a dream you always had?
I have always wanted a secret ability, I suppose, to help people communicate what they are feeling. It has always been a dream since I was younger, to where, like, what if I help people just bridge the gap of like what could be communicated, and if they were just honest with themselves, and everybody would get along, or find out like how to resolve differences and conflict and stuff. Yeah, that has always been a dream. Always.
Wow. And tell me something. Why do you think people they have difficulties of expressing their feelings, put it out, out there to the world. Why is that, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I think it's a cavalcade of insecurities and fear and difficulties on just being honest with themselves. I think. Yeah.
And particularly for you, do you feel the same as well, that you find difficult to express your feelings, or you kind of work on it and you can express easily?
I have my second job to work on it. My first job, I work at home and I can do at home, and there's no communication. And my second job, I am forced to be out in the public and express myself. And I'm an introvert, as it were. So working on being an extrovert and being a personality, or having a personality, and expressing like thoughts, ideas, and all that. That is something I work on every single day. Yeah. Those
Wow.
are, yeah.
Amazing. It's interesting saying that. I had an interview with a lovely man from Canada the other day, and he said exactly the same. Yeah, he does a different job as well, because to help him, getting out of his comfort zone, and
Yes.
he find a way, and now he feels himself in a much better place because of that, because he forced himself to be visible somehow, to put himself out there, because he couldn't get out of his shelves, and he was very shy, introvert. He couldn't connect with people, he couldn't express himself, and he started doing the job, and he said, my God, really, I'm a totally a different person right now. It's very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think it's good talking about that as well, Darek, because imagine how many people maybe watch this interview right now and they feel the same way as well. And, you are just literally giving ideas to people. Do you know what I mean? It can be hard.
Yeah.
For sure, it can be difficult as well. It's not easy to get out of our comfort zone. But I think everyone could find a way. You know what I mean? There's always a way for you to get yourself out there and try to just work on you. I think that's the best part. You're working yourself.
Yes. It's like exercise. If you don't do it, nothing can happen. So, yeah. Yeah.
Next question.
Okay.
Right. So before the next question, tell me how photography came into your life.
I was 8 years old when I got my first camera. It was a Ninja Turtle camera that printed a Ninja Turtle head on the film, so on the photo itself. And that was when I fell in love with the notion of photography, and like how what I saw suddenly came into print, and it was great. And ever since then, it just took off and bloomed and blossomed. And in hindsight, I think that in all the stages of my life, photography was present at my growth. So at the age of 15 or so, I decided to venture out downtown and take pictures of people with disposable cameras and as much film type of cameras as I could. And yeah, and I connected with a lot of people that way. It was amazing. It just really kind of came out of my shell. And that's due to photography.
And since we start, your career in photography, did you have like an idol or someone that you kind of look it up at the time? Someone that, oh, I would love to follow their path.
My favorite guy, I would actually say David LaChapelle was really good. He was very expressive with colors, and he made his sets. He shot for Rolling Stone a lot in his day, and he worked with Andy Warhol, and he has amazing perspective with expression. It's really great and truly inspired me to be bold and daring. So, yeah.
Great. Next question, Niece. What is the most beautiful thing someone has ever done for you?
Most beautiful thing. It seems very simple, but when someone genuinely checks in on you and cares about what you think, and it could happen in passing, like, hey, Derek, how are you? Really, genuinely, no small talk, but just they want to know. I think that's a beautiful thing. I think um, it's great to have that kind of connection with anybody, even if it is just a random stranger. And yeah, I appreciate those things, and I think those are beautiful. Yeah.
Wow. And talk about connection, which person in your life you're more connected to, if you're more connected with genuinely?
I wish I could say everyone that has come across my life, but
Like at the moment, you know, it's,
in
of
the
course.
moment,
Yeah.
I would say my dad. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
What's the biggest difference between you and your dad, and the biggest similarity?
Biggest difference between my dad and I are, well, age. He is 83 years old, so he's 40 years older than I am.
Wow.
And the similarities are astounding because um, I didn't meet up with him until later in my life, and it turns out that we are so similar in thinking, in music and culture and thought processes, and it is amazing how similar we are and how much we have in common. It astounds me. It is really, really great, and like we're the best. I think way better
Wow.
off. Yeah.
Amazing. My goodness, what a privilege to have 80, 85, you said 83, 85 years old dad.
83. Yeah.
83 years old dad. My goodness, imagine how amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Lucky you.
I feel very lucky. Yeah.
Next question. Hey, Derek, next question is, what makes you feel very sentimental?
I guess it comes back to connections on people. I am very sentimental with histories of friends and myself. That always has this nostalgic feeling. So if there's a loss or anything like that, I feel it deeply. So that is my sentimental side of things. I don't get into sentiments on material things, but connections with people are a big deal for me. Yeah.
I think that's when you analyze yourself, when you think about yourself, what's the best part of being Derek? What's the best part of being you?
Sense of humor, without a doubt. Sense of humor. Yeah.
Tell me about it. You always been this way?
Always. I will make sure to go out of my way to make people laugh, smile, even if it makes me look like a fool. I just want somebody to know that they can talk about. For instance, I went around town riding my bike in a monkey suit. I dressed as a monkey just for people to have stories to talk about. I saw this man riding a bike in a monkey suit. Like, I will go out of my way for a laugh at any point in time just to make somebody smile. So, yeah.
That's interesting. Wow. And so people, good friends of yours, they always spot this way of you being funny, being in a good mood, but also what can make you feel, let's say, the opposite. Yeah, when you feel like, okay, I cannot be this funny, or I cannot be this person always cheering people up.
Well, being an introvert, small doses and socializing is a thing for me because it takes a lot of energy. So when I don't feel that way, or when I've had enough, I go home and stay home and relax and make sure that I refuel my energy and just reflect, meditate, and do all that.
Ready for another question?
Yep.
Let's do it. Next one. Before the next question, I believe you are a gay guy, yeah? By the LGBTQ community, or no? Are you out? You okay to talk about?
Yes. Yes, very much so.
Okay. So tell me, how was growing up as a gay boy back in Nebraska? Walk me through a little bit about your journey.
Um, well, Nebraska in general is a very conservative state within the U.S., so it was rather difficult growing up. I will say times have changed greatly, um, and it's nice to see the change in that. But growing up was difficult, and in my particular case, many people spotted it, my sexuality, even before I even knew. So there is that situation. But through that kind of adversity, it just kind of shaped me into, I guess, the person I am today, and I have to be thankful for it, no matter what. And again, things have changed drastically, and there is still much more improvement that needs to be, but I'm happy to experience all of that. It's really neat to see the differences of things, and yeah.
And the day when you came out, did something happen, or or you just felt like, okay, from now on, I'm just gonna be my truly self, and I'm just gonna, express the way I am, the real me. Did it happen that or not?
Well, the day that I came out, I think it was I broke up with my boyfriend at the time, and I was heartbroken, and it was upsetting, and it was so upsetting that I was 16, 17, and it
Wow.
was so upsetting. Everything at that age just tends to be more dramatic than what it really is. And so I did something drastic and started telling people about myself. And I came out to friends first, and then my mother. And yeah, everything was well received at that point in time, and it was great. It was the best thing for me. Yeah.
Do you have siblings as well?
I do have siblings. I do. So now I have siblings on my dad's side, and then I have siblings on my mom's side. And the siblings on my mom's side I grew up with. The siblings on my dad's side I didn't grow up with. Unbeknownst to me, that we went to school. I went to school with a couple of my sisters, so that was strange on my dad's side. But yeah, I have had three other siblings on my mom's side.
I see. So you are the only one from your dad and your mom as well, together.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, okay. Next question for you is, when have you been the most happy?
Wow. Like, I am most happy. I want to keep it PG. So like, I am most happy when I'm by myself. We'll say that. Yes. When I'm by myself, morning coffee, reflecting, sitting by my window and just enjoying the view that I have, and yes, where I'm at in life.
What is your star sign or astrology?
I am a Taurus. I am right on the cusp of Taurus and Gemini, but I am considered Taurus.
Yeah. I see. Okay. 3 questions left for you. Let's do it.
All right.
Next question for you is, if you could make up a new school subject, what that would be and why?
Well, I like the fact that schools are concentrating on the STEM type of classes, science, math, and I think those are very, very important because they're realistic views upon what is happening out there in life. But to carry along with that, I would probably create a class on the self, how to express yourself, how to communicate yourself, how to find out what is happening in here. I don't know if there's anything like that out there, but I think having children learn to express themselves early and communicate them and how they're feeling and what's going on in here and how to express what's going on in here, I think that's pretty important. And I do think that there should be a class on that because it will definitely help them throughout their life. And yeah. having that early definitely would help, I think, most people.
Imagine if we had that back at the time. Imagine how it will help us nowadays to deal with feelings, emotions, expressing the way we are, like naturally and genuinely, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it would be great. I think it would also resolve a lot of issues to where like simple conflicts are diminished easily and we can find an understanding. Hey, he's just this way, I'm this way, I just have this point of view, and it's okay. It is okay to be different and have those differences and just accepting them.
And I think not just okay, it feels amazing being different. It
Yes.
feels great when you are weirdo, when you are different, when you don't fit in boxes. I think it feels great. I think it's a privilege when you are
Yes.
like that. You know what I mean? I think
Yes.
back on the day we felt so like, oh my God, I cannot be this way. I just need to follow the way I've been taught, or I need to follow the way the society told us to be. But nowadays I think people, they are more open-minded, and I think it's people, it's people, they are more open about it. I think they love it, being different, being themselves, and I think
Yes.
it's great. It feels amazing.
I agree. I agree.
2 questions left. Let's do
Okay.
it. Before the next question, through your career as a photographer, work with photography, if you could choose just one piece of your your art that you've done, that a photo that you've taken, that you go like, okay, this one, it's my favorite. It's always gonna have a special place for me. Which one that would be?
Which photo
Yeah,
or
that you've taken.
there is a shot that I've done. Um, it was so very impromptu and last minute I did it in college, but I was able to take these lights and set up this whole scene, and it was a shot called Wasting Life. I will take that with me wherever I go because it has a lot of more meaning to me because it seemed impromptu, but it was my idea that just seemed to flourish. And I wish I could retake it and recreate it and do it better, of course, because in hindsight, you were like, oh, I needed to do that, or very critical of myself. But I would carry that one with me always. It has a lot of meaning, not just for me, but in general for the intent and yeah.
And what's the biggest joy of being a photographer, in your opinion? What do you like the most about it, and what do you find most challenging?
Well, the answer would be both the same of expressing your thoughts and idea. It is very challenging to do, but it is also, when it's done, it is the most amazing thing that has everybody looking at what you presented without words, and they feel a certain way, and you're pulling senses from them. And I think that is the most joyful thing when they look at things that I've done, and it's really, really great. So yeah, that is also the challenge, to convey those things. Um, yeah, I wouldn't trade it out. This is something I would be doing for the rest of my life, and I don't know, I can't wait to see what else I come up with or any of that. But yeah, those are the challenging and joyful things about it. I like.
All right. Next question is, describe yourself in one positive word and one negative word only.
One positive. Silly. I would say silly.
Good.
That is a positive thing in a good way. A negative would be sharp.
How come?
I have a tendency to be very tactful with words, and they come across very hurtful because they are to the point and very Yeah, not very forgiving. Yeah.
I think in the end of the day, it comes from a good place.
Yes.
For sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the good part as well. Sometimes maybe people, they're not ready to take straight away the message, you know what I mean? It needs to
Yes.
kind of softer first before getting there.
Yes.
I see. Ready for the last question?
Absolutely.
Last question, Derek. Let's do it. Before the last question, actually, I'm going to ask two questions. I've never been in Nebraska before, yeah, in the US. What, in your opinion, Nebraska state stands out compared with other states in the US? Tell me something unique or interesting about the state, in your opinion.
The state as a whole, there is so much to see. It's been claimed as a desert, a grass desert, and yet there is so much life within here. From the east side, where there's mainly a whole lot of the population in Nebraska, and then you move on to the west, and there's a lot less population, but there's more nature and things to see out here, such as the Badlands and like these phenomenal like landscape structures in just the Great Plains in itself. And I think that's the most interesting thing here. And then the weather, you get 4 full seasons. Sometimes I feel like the summer is a little bit shorter, but it does get really hot here at the same time. So like it's great. It's great. Yeah.
And the other part of the question is, people watching the interview right now, maybe they would like to start a career in photography. Yeah, what would be your best piece of advice for those people?
Never change your perspective to fit a mold of any type. That would be my best advice, mainly because it's your idea and your perspective that is important, and that makes the photograph. If you're able to compose with the lights and shadows that you see and want to convey, I think that's the best thing ever. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, last question is, where is the most exotic place have you ever been?
I've been in some strange places. There is a desert in California near Joshua Tree, and I've been there. I went out there when I was 17, and 5 miles into the desert, nothing around me, literally nothing around me, and my car blew up, and it was just I was just there with a friend of mine, and we had to walk back into town and stuff. But it was the most exotic place ever because of there was little to no birds. There's nothing but maybe like little lizards and whatnot running around. But that was the most exotic place ever. It was just strange to see. And it was at the time in my own backyard. It was just, yeah.
Okay. It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Okay. Let's start with life.
Abundance.
Money.
Evil.
Family.
Love.
One word for sex.
I'm sorry?
Sex.
Sex. Fun.
Love.
Dangerous.
Can be politics.
Superficial.
Religion.
Dangerous.
Fear.
Exciting.
Friendship.
Scary.
Desire.
Fun.
Regret.
Necessary.
One word for success.
Happiness.
And one word for happiness.
Joy?
How
I
about
feel like that's the same thing.
one word for wish?
One word for wish?
Yeah.
Dream. Dream.
Let's see. I'm gonna say the name of your city, right? It's Omaha.
Omaha. Yes.
Omaha. So one word for Omaha.
Tactful.
One word for Nebraska.
Great.
How about USA? One word.
Abundant.
And the last one now, photography. One word.
Love.
You're like, oh my God, so many words going through my mind right now.
Yes.
Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your best friend, tell me the most beautiful thing about Darek, and tell me something that he still needs to work on, to improve on. What your best friend would say?
Well, he would probably say my sense of humor. Again, I'm always out there to make people laugh and feel good. And he would also say that I need to work on stop being so shy and bashful. Yeah, that's probably who he would say that. Yeah.
If I would ask the same question to your lovely dad, would be the same answer?
To my dad? My dad would probably say that I need to develop more me, but he would say the best part of me is my funky attitude. Like, yeah.
Wow. Great. Yeah. Very good. Let's play now, Darek, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before you ask me the question, let's say that you have, you could choose anyone in the world, yeah, to photography, to photographs, anyone. You could choose anyone in the world. Who that would be and why?
Oh. Well, I normally don't do portraits, but I would love to do a portrait of somebody very significant. I think it would be the Dalai Lama. I think that would be very interesting to do.
Wow.
I would do that because of his stance on the world and communicating with people, and his expression of harmony. I think that would be both a challenge and wonderful to accomplish, to do a portrait on him. So yeah.
Wow, what an answer. Wow, amazing. Okay, you can ask me a question now, Darek.
Well, you're in a position to where you have connected with people all over the world, and I am certain that there are highlights and lowlights of this. But what is the joy that you have about connecting with these people? Is there any like differences that you appreciate, or similarities that you appreciate? It's a multi-type of question, but yeah, wow. What are they?
I love the question, Darek. Can I tell you something? For example, at this moment now, we are doing this, we are making memories right now. We are literally making memories for life, you and me right now. And for me, this moment now, you have no idea. I feel the best of myself. I feel like, sometimes when you feel so yourself, you feel like, okay, it's me. I'm sure you have the same feeling when you are making people laugh, you're making people happy. This feeling when you feel like, my God, it's the same feeling when I'm here connect with someone who I never met before, and for one reason or another, we meant to have this moment right now. Right. I think we meant. So for me, the feeling, it's incredible. It's so amazing to be able to sit here and literally connect with people around the globe. It's such a great feeling. I feel like if I wasn't doing this, I would be like, oh my God, if I would see someone doing that, I feel like, oh my God, I'd love to be doing that, because it's such a great feeling. At the end of the day, I'm literally expressing the person who I am, like even people who, participate in the show, they have this feeling that they can somehow, they trust the show, they trust the the whole concept, and they feel safe to be vulnerable to talk about, for example, you saying you're shy, you have your, your moments, and I think it's not easy to talk about those things, you know what I mean?
Right.
Including myself, sometimes when I share things here, for me it's quite difficult as well, to share things. So I think it's the great feeling. It's such a great feeling to know, for example, when I go to bed, I'm thinking about the magic box. When I wake up in the morning, the magic box, the first thing that comes to my mind, my God, who am I going to connect with today? My God, I post the thumbnails every day. I post those thumbnails to promote the interviews of my guests on the show. So when I post the thumbnails in the morning, like to promote the interview of the evening, I feel like it's the first time I'm posting, because it's such a great feeling, because it's someone new. It's someone that I'm going to have this, imagine, I just keep thinking, my God, what this person, when they see the thumbnail ready, like tonight on Read the Magic Box, Darek from Nebraska. So imagine how amazing the feeling is. For me, I feel the same as well. I transport myself to the person somehow. I feel like, oh my God, it's amazing, the great feeling. And the other part of the question is, I think what I realized for those, over 1,000 of interviews I've done so far, that all of us, it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter your background, it doesn't matter your point of views. But what I realized is, all of us, we are here in this world trying to be a better person. Through questions, through experience that people they share here on the show, I have this feeling that we are just trying to, to improve ourselves, to become a better person, to go out of our comfort zone, to connect with people, to share experiences. So I believe that the similarity, including myself as well, I share so much here on the show as well, when, talking to my guests on the show. And I think that's the similarity that's happening. It's like we are having, as I say, when I say memories, I mean it. It's like a moment we are sharing here, something special, something that, people watching this interview right now, they might go like, oh, I've been in this place before. I've been in this experience before. Maybe I'm too shy as well. And see someone talking about that so open. It's about helping people and connect with people as well. So I could be here 3 hours just talking about that with you. But but overall, Derek, it's just a great feeling. I feel grateful every day when I think about the magic box, because I feel like I came to this world for that. I think I meant to have this gift with me, because it feels great. I forget that I'm recording. I just remember when I look here on the side, you know what I mean? Because until then, I feel like I'm talking to a friend. I'm talking to someone, having a moment here right now. I think people, I feel lucky because people let myself to go into their lives. You know what I mean? Somehow we are sharing here. And at the same time as well, I allowed you myself to be on my life as well. So I think all of us, all of this experience, it's about connecting. And I feel very grateful and very happy that I'm able to, to do that, and, and make memories with people around the globe. So I think that's the best feeling.
What a thing to resonate with. That's so great. I admire that. Very much so.
And I'm
glad
sure
that you found that.
When you are taking your pictures, those feelings when you are doing,
Yes.
taking exactly the same, I feel, because it's just such a powerful moment. And I'm always going to be grateful for people to let, the show, myself, get into their lives. When I say that, their lives in their house, when I say their house, of course, their house as well, but their house here, you know what I mean? This house,
Right.
that, you know what I mean? Because not easy to open the door sometimes of our house. Sometimes it's difficult. And when the people, they let me somehow get a little bit close to it, I think that's amazing. It's a great feeling. So yeah, that's my answer to you. You made me think now.
Great.
Did you enjoy the interview?
I did, very much so. This was fun.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks again, Derek. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for being so sweet and accept my invitation.
Thanks for having me.
But before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Be honest with yourself. That's the very first thing that I could always recommend to anybody. I tell my younger nieces and nephews that always just be honest with yourself because everything else just kind of comes into place if you are that first and foremost. So yeah.
Back to your answer about this school subject, it's about that, isn't it? It's about learning to be, honest with yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Regard to your lovely dad, regard to your family, and you keep in touch, okay? It was a pleasure.
Take care. You too.
Bye-bye. Take care.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.